So start breaking loose the propolis. That way you can sort of get them out. Going to be a dark honey, probably goldenrod or something later in the fall. But it's fully capped, which means it's met the quality standard for the bees. That's when they'll cap it. The humidity is going to be somewhere between 14 and 17%. The uncapped will be probably above 17, and you see a few cells that are not capped. It hadn't met the quality standards for those. Hot knife, take that capping, or what they call the cappings, off, and it exposes the honey. And like I had told you earlier, all the cells in the frame are set at an angle, and that's why the centrifugal extractor, if you put it in this way, the cells are angled this way and you're spinning and the honey slings out. So if you turned it that way, you would be fighting the angle of the cell to get the honey to come out, and it would always trap honey in the bottom of the cell because it just can't overcome it. That's a pretty frame of honey. And all the cappings, I'll drain them, clean them, and then we sell the wax. We'll render it down and we'll end up selling it. That's a different process altogether, and that don't happen until later in the winter when it gets cold. And I can go in the greenhouse and set up to do that. Well, homemade. The barrel was olive oil. I got it out of Louisiana. Had olive oil in it. I cut the top off. I had a brand new wheelchair that was never used. I took it apart, cleaned out the bearings, got all the grease and stuff of that nature out of them, and then just set up spacing with all thread to hold the frame. I put in a little piece of bungee spring to hold the frames to the back, and the spokes act as just dividers. And I got a centering piece in the bottom, this centering piece in the top, 2 jam nuts to drive it, and just spin it, and it works. One of the things about the honeycomb, it is the strongest structure known to man with the least amount of material required to build it. And I can't remember if the cell is 5-sided or 6-sided, but that cell structure for the honeycomb takes the least amount of material, and it is the strongest structure anyone can build with that amount of material. Bees figured it out. I was telling you about propolis the other day. If you take a look at this inside of the box, let me turn around. You can see this stuff. It's where they've glued the frame to the wood, but all of this stuff is got a whole bunch of medical properties that people make tinctures out of. Once all the bees have cleaned up all the frames and stuff, I'll clean all the propolis off the frames and scrape all that off, and pretty much do it right here. You just scrape it, it makes a mess. Stuff goes everywhere because it's
like resin kind of, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just they use the propolis, they make it from the tree resins, and typically pine resin, things of that nature. But well, that's real honey will burn. Why, I don't know, but it will burn. And that's pure honey. That's one of the ways to tell if you're buying real honey. Ribbon down this edge and down this edge, and the center of it is like golden.
Right.
If you can tell, it's sort of hard to see. But this is going to be more of a fall dark, where this is going to be more of a spring light. And it's in the same frame. And I've had them where you actually could see a ribbon where they put honey up. And the bottom of this side is going to be dark, where the rest of it's going to be light. It's just how they do it. So, where the knife doesn't touch the caps, you can come back and scrape it, and it breaks the cap off, but it leaves all the wax in the honey. So when you extract it, it extracts that too, and it'll clog up the filters. It's just a slow process, you know.
Maybe a $4 or $5.
Ready? Catch it. See what they're doing. And just keep up with them better.
Yeah.
And